Hello folks, my name's Rebecca. I'm founder and chief guinea pig at MPowder, and we're a nutritional supplement brand designed to support women through the 3 biochemical stages of menopause. And I'm here today to share a few tips on how to meno-well, and I want to focus specifically on sleep. Many of us are aware of the importance of sleep for our overall health. Lack of it has been linked to everything from weight gain to risk of diabetes to cardiovascular disease and even degenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. And yet 40% of us during menopause are likely to struggle with sleep. And that is probably linked to the fact that 85% of us will experience what is known as a hot flash. So a hot flash can happen at any time during the day, but quite often it does happen at night, and it's enough for some of us in severity to wake us from sleep, and then getting back to sleep can be incredibly tricky. So what can you do? The first thing to highlight is it's always worth making friends with your GP. So HRT can be incredibly helpful for many of us and can actually help us in terms of getting the sleep we need because our hormones are more balanced as a result of taking it. But there are many other things that you can look to do in addition to seeking medical support. The first tip from our community is to look to your garden or even your window box and to view it a bit like a medicine cabinet. So sage, which is really easy to grow, can be particularly helpful at this life stage. So 2 to 3 leaves, 2 to 3 times a day infused in hot water, and stagger when you're taking it towards the end of the day, towards that period of time where you're going to be seeking rest. Sage has been seen in trials to help with hot flashes, but also it can just help soothe our bodies and minds and prepare us better for sleep. The other herb, again relatively easy to grow, is lemon balm. Lemon balm can help with anxiety, with stress responses, and again just in terms of calming our body as we prepare for sleep, it can be invaluable. The second tip is around your bedtime routine. I think a lot of us will have read about sleep hygiene, particularly over the last 12 to 18 months, where we've been locked in and dealing with increased levels of anxiety on a daily basis. So our tip is to make that bedtime routine actually a nourishment routine. So if you're having a bath, make it work harder for you. Put in some Epsom salts. Those Epsom salts, really easy to get hold of, really cheap. Put in 2 to 3 handfuls, so don't scrimp with them. And the magnesium in them will be absorbed by our skin, and actually it's often much easier for our skin to absorb magnesium than it is to take it orally, and magnesium can really help in terms of getting a good night's rest. And then the third tip is about that distinction between sleep, so the 7 to 8 hours we're trying to get under the duvet, and the concept of rest, and they are distinct. And what we've seen in our community is that if you can reframe the period of time you're spending under the duvet and not getting frustrated if you're not getting the 7 or 8 hours that you're aiming for, and reframe it to accept that that sometimes happens, and then look to the next day, and how you can replenish your energy levels through rest. Yoga Nidra can be incredibly helpful for this. So if you're feeling tired, you get to 2 o'clock, you get to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you feel that that previous night's sleep or lack of sleep is really having an impact on your ability to function, then rather than reach for the coffee, try maybe for 7 days to instead reach for a mat or just lie on the floor, whether that's at work or whether that's at home, and take a guided practice of Yoga Nidra. There's so many guided practices out there on YouTube, or look to something like Insight Timer where they're ranked and sort of rated by the community, and see if that can actually have an impact on the way you feel. Many in our community have found that it's a very, very subtle thing to introduce, and yet it reaps such rewards in terms of both removing the stress associated with lack of sleep, accepting that you've got strategies that can help you get through the day, which in turn mean that when you go to bed the next day, you're not feeling anxious before you even get there, and the potential for sleep is therefore greater. Thanks a lot.